It is the Tuesday album tour, and this is kind of a reboot of the month that we were supposed to start last week, which is Jazz June. Last week, I ran into ISP problems, so we rescheduled to fit all 8 albums within the month still. And you guys, we just finished listening to Kind of Blue by Miles Davis, a 10 out of 10. Absolutely adored it. Definitely in the vein of jazz that I am looking for. Um, I've got nothing but good things to say about it. Miles Davis really killed it, and incidentally, I heard John Coltrane on that particular record. And now we get to listen to his own project. Now, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to be listening to the album proper. So, what you might have bought once upon a time, laid on your record player, dropped the needle on, flipped it over, dropped the needle again, and played it until you flipped it back over and repeated. That's kind of what we're planning here. Now, what everybody's telling me is that this is about to be a very giant step from what I just listened to. So pretty eager to see what that's about. I think I've got some context in the context crew as provided by our beloved context crew. Can we get some W's for the context crew? Let's go ahead and check this out. Shout out AJ, thank you for it. John William Coltrane, born September 23rd of 1926 through July 17th of 1967, also known as Train, was an American jazz saxophonist, bandleader, and composer. Born and raised in North Carolina, Coltrane moved to Philadelphia after high school, where he immersed himself in the local jazz scene. He served in the Navy toward the end of World War II before making his professional debut in 1945. Working in his bebop and hard bop idioms early in his career, Coltrane helped pioneer the use of modes and was one of the players at the forefront of free jazz. He led at least 50 recording sessions and appeared on many albums by other musicians, including Miles Davis. Go figure. We just listened to that. As his career progressed, Coltrane's music took an increasingly spiritual dimension, as exemplified on his most acclaimed record, A Love Supreme, in 1965, and others. Giant Steps was released in February 1960 through Atlantic Records. This was Coltrane's first album for the label, with which he had signed a new contract the previous year. Principal recording for the album took place on May 4th and 5th of 1959 in New York City, 2 weeks after Coltrane had participated in the final session of Kind of Blue. So this is 2 weeks removed of what we just listened to. Got it. Naima was recorded on December 2nd, 1959 with Coltrane's bandmates, the rhythm section from the Miles Davis Quintet, who would provide the backing for most of his album Coltrane Jazz. The record is regarded as one of the most influential jazz albums of all time. Coltrane's improvisations on the album exemplifies the melodic phrasing sheets of sound and features his explorations into third related chord movements that came to be known as Coltrane changes. Here we have our personnel lineup, and we heard Wynton Kelly on the previous record as well on Kind of Blue, and I believe Jimmy Cobb as well. Guys, it seems like we've got that pretty well figured out. Now, additional context about the music theory, the title track, Coltrane changes. Should I, no, just whenever he comes up, let me, let me know. And thank you for the W's on my reading aloud. I was a little bit nervous about that one, so thank you. Oh, he's got a picture. Let's check her out. Hang on. Okay. Guys, listen. This is a music discovery stream, so I need to know, have you heard this album, this record, this artist before, or are you raw dogging a very first listen with me? I am pretty interested in this because I feel like I just read a whole bunch of words that I am completely ignorant to. I've heard people in my streams and in the conversations that take place in our Discord, I've heard people reference things like what I just heard in the context, but I truly am approaching this with a pretty significant layer of ignorance here. So I would ask, if you're watching on YouTube, if, feel free to, include me, offer some context if you have it. Feel free to educate me. One of my favorite parts of jumping into jazz is the fact that it's made me want to seek out education as a self-taught musician. It's made me want to learn the language, the formal written language of music theory. And I don't think you can just say that about anybody. Okay, so here we go. The whole track, the title track, that is just 3 chords, 16 measures on the loop. They rapidly modulate between 3 keys, B major, G major, and E flat major, which are spaced out symmetrically in the circle of fifths. In other words, as far apart as possible in terms of the number of sharps and flats. Yet, the only changes inside of these keys are just 2, 5, 7, and sorry, I'm dumb. 2, a 5, 7, like the 5 chord 7, a 2 minor, 5, 7, and the 1, or sometimes just the 5, 7, and the 1. The most basic chord functions in jazz. Still, the weirdness of the modulations and very fast tempo makes this a huge challenge to play. Some people have criticized the track for sounding too much like an etude or technical exercise. But it's hard to deny how thrilling it is to hear Coltrane's absolute mastery of this particular harmonic structure. Note for the reference. Okay. Got it. Okay. So good to see it. And okay. Well, guys, let me know. Have you heard the album, or are you raw dogging it first listen with me? Educate me. Feel free. This is definitely, this YouTube channel has certainly become a way to learn the language of music. So again, feel free. Guys, I'm going to hit the play button. Before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. These people over here are the best people. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. I know I speak for all of us when I say we would love to have you by. And guys, I'm entering this with a massive and complete layer of ignorance, so do forgive. And won't you join me? Here we go. Giant Steps, John Coltrane. Here we go. This bass is kind of running all over the place. Whoa. We are not in Kansas anymore. This could not be farther removed from Kind of Blue, and it's mind-bogglingly cool to know that John Coltrane played on both of those projects in the same span of 2 weeks. Such different projects, but all the same, it's like recognizing the dude can play his horn in 2 different languages. I mean, certainly multiple languages, but I don't know that you could get me to do it, Garrett. Sometimes money isn't worth shame. Listen to him fly all over. Like, breathe, man. Okay, he took a breath. I'm really impressed with this. Yo, Elf Lady, thank you for gifting us such a blossom. And Midnight Winds, welcome to the Rooskies. This is madness. You know, what's crazy is, like, I think a lot of guitar players hear, like, speed metal and they think, whoa, that's madness. Because it just sounds so fast and heavy and like, you know, it's hard to play guitar that fast. But this feels like the horn equivalent of that, but to jazz. Shifting the modes or the keys is one thing. Playing this fast is another thing. Doing it when your breath is involved instead of just your fingers, I don't know. There's also something about, like, the swagger of this music. You know, when we listened to Kind of Blue, there is a different emotional vibe that comes out of that versus this. This is coming in fast. This is coming in confident. This is coming in like, you know, a man trying to show, you know, like, if a kid learns a bike trick and he gets really good at the bike trick and he wants to show his parents the bike trick, it feels like John Coltrane learned a saxophone trick and was like, hey, guys, check this out. And then, you know, he got mad at every single other person that couldn't keep up with how fast he was able to play it. Because it's like, I mean, dude. Funny Joe. The bass line. And this kind of gallop on the ride here. Tommy Flanagan seems to be on the keys. W's for Paul Chambers on this upright bass. See the descent there, doon, 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 and hearing the sax and the bass both do that. Imagine being Tommy Flanagan. You show up at a session and Tran gives you the lead sheet. We're doing this one today. You've never played it before. You look at the chords. Wait a minute. What key does this go into? And we're doing it at what tempo? You sit down at the piano. Your head spinning. Train says, okay, you ready for take one? And we're recording. Nuts. The pressure that you must have had on you to just be on your game that day. To sight read stuff like this. So I have to ask about the process of this. And jazzers, maybe you guys can help me out with this and understanding. When you guys write songs, do you print out a whole bunch of like clef lines and just start filling stuff in? And how do you do it? Like, how do you know what squiggles to write? How do you know where, like, I understand the FACE thing, I guess. Are they filling out both bass clef and treble clef? Like, is he composing just sax parts, or is he, like, giving the sax? And how much detail is he writing and filling these things out? Like, how far ahead of time is he filling this, like, drawing up the music to give it to them? And then at which point does he just write somewhere along the way and then just jam? Or like, okay, let's jam. Like on the paper though, how does it, a lot of times it's just one treble clef staff for the melody and then chord symbols. Lots of chord symbols. Okay. It's usually just the lead melody and the chord progression. Okay. So I guess the between the lines thing there is where the creativity of the collaborators is coming in. And maybe by reading the lines in the first place, they understand the rules of the song. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Yeah, you're right. I have not seen the real book. That part, that descent is so nice. Rules of the song is the perfect way of describing the function of a lead sheet. Oh, you can't see title. Oh my gosh, big whiff. LOL. When good call, Garrett. Good call, Garrett. I wasn't even paying attention to that screen at the time. Goodness gracious. Yeah, the concept of the lead sheet thing, it like, again, it's just a part of being a musician that I'm not familiar with. Like, I was lucky to be able to have an ear that could typically pick up most songs I wanted to play, but stuff like this just feels like my ear doesn't work. So it feels like I have to learn to speak the language, which means I have to learn to read the language, which Cousin Mary. Wow, I just had this thought. With that said, I mean, obviously in an improvisational sense, you would expect this to be the case, but it just really sealed the deal for me in my brain that when a jazz guy like John Coltrane gives somebody a lead sheet, right? He doesn't, at the end of the day, know what more than just his part is going to sound like. And even in the improvisational parts, he's still probably flying by the seat of a moment, right? And like a split seconds decision. So he goes into it with kind of a foundational idea, and then he kind of gets to see it evolve in front of him and decide if he's proud of it or not. Hmm. I think I have a very different respect for the dynamic jazz bands and working jazz players have. Like that's not at all what really my understanding of music, because and my involvement in it has ever been. So that is, again, just that's more metal than metal is. Okay. Well, and also what's incredible about I feel like this Paul Chambers guy's gotta be some of the most respected fingertips in music. I mean, the absolute, like, he is absolutely doing leg day out there with his fingers. Like, he is absolutely just running marathons at sprint speed with those friggin' fingies. Yeah, seriously, man. Like, dude, Paul Chambers. Never even heard of the man, really, I don't think, before coming into this. But when you hear this running and you realize it's also the same guy that was basing for our boy Miles Davis just before, you realize how multifaceted these guys are. Like, these are man among boy level musicians. And for again, if we're going, I'm just going off of the example that was shared with me in the Discord here, right? But for Blue and Green, if each of the guys is just kind of given one of these things and said, then you're like told to go for it. That's just kind of bonkers to me. I feel like we heard a song that was way longer than one page and we listened to Kinda Blue. So again, the improvisational component pops out live there, but again, that he was the guy that played bass on that record, but also on this one. And it was so much of it to be sight reading. Ugh. I've never felt like such a bad musician. The lead sheet is only 10% of the music. The other 90% is accumulated knowledge about harmony, melody, rhythm, everything that a competent jazz player has to develop first. The lead sheet just sends those skills in a particular direction. Wow. The things I had no clue about. Like, these dudes are just so locked in. It somehow feels incredibly subdued compared to the last song, but also really kind of energetic, happy. This feels like being in a pretty good mood on a pretty nice day. I'm definitely getting the Peanuts videos again. Great pumpkin season isn't too far away. Ooh. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Am I off the count? Where is it? The re-entrance was amazing. 4-4. I'm a dingleberry. That last little bass line, dun 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 dun. There's something. And he kind of plays with the time, dun dun dun. You know, like one thing that this bass player seems to have a really great control over is like this kind of like blue note control, I guess is what I want to say. It seems sometimes like he hits like an unintentional note and then like slides up or down from where he intends to be. And it provides this walking motion thing. Yeah, I feel like I'm saying it like such an imbecile right now. And boy, I tell you, not every person that likes jazz that watches me listen to jazz is kind. So do forgive if I'm sounding like just an ignoramus here, but it really does just sound like there is this incredible fluid motion to the way he plays, and that he fills really great space with I cannot wait to know more about music to have better set of commentary than what I'm approaching you guys with. Art Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm told by the credits. Bro. Breathe, man. Breathe, man. I feel like he's got like a 10-pack under his gut from his flexing to push all of this air out. And you can hear the drum progressively getting louder and louder and louder, kind of building it up. I want to bring it back in. I know we're going back a little ways, but coming in on this moment is so profound from the drums into the sax. It's just such a in-your-face, distinct moment. Let's... Again, with this bouncing hi-hat here, and this ride sound. Piano coming in? Left ear? The build-up. Honestly, truly, maybe my favorite on the album so far. Just the raw, in-your-face, ever pumping and increasing energy. Listen to the bass there. Oh my goodness. Honestly, Countdown was one of my favorites, like, of the day. It might have been... There was so certainly it's been my favorite one from the album, but gosh, what a fast run. What an immediate punch. It's like he just kind of thought to himself, like, how am I going to get him? What's going to be the one where I get him? And that was the one. 10 minutes of notes in 2.5 and 10 minutes of notes in a 2.5 minute song. Seems right. Going into Spiral. Back to gnarly bass guy. the piano in the left ear has kind of got this bum ba-dum bum bum. I feel like this has got to go on to inspire like at least a rock song that I'm familiar with right here in this part. Just that descent before the transition. It might be Dazed and Confused. I will say, I don't know if this is just a consistent thing with saxophone players or John Coltrane, but I have heard a pretty consistent move. Let's see if I can bring it back to it. It's stuff like that, like those fast cascading notes up to the pause. And it makes me wonder if that's part of the him being him. Like he would do that on anybody's record, on anybody's thing, because his use of like fast blast followed by like kind of caesura stop pause, it pick it back up fast sort of thing is a vibe. I don't know. I can't decide how what I think about that. Any input? What genre of jazz is this? Forgive me for yawning. Did I make you yawn? Be honest. But what genre or subgenre of jazz would you consider this? This isn't free jazz, is it? Bop, bebop. Is there a difference between bop and bebop? It's the same thing. Okay, got it. Ba-da-da-da. This keyboard, this piano sound. And where is this recorded, by the way? It's tremendous how different an experience you can find from the same dude on two different albums within the same genre. Coltrane's work on this versus what you hear on Kind of Blue is tremendously different. Again, to see how multifaceted the man is just really, really, really impressive. And similar, surrounding himself with a cast of people that can keep up with him. I mean, let's just be real. We're listening to a bass player, the likes of which the world did not deserve to be blessed with. For him to play as fast as he is and all over the neck of an upright. Getting physical. Yep, you right. Dun, dun, dun. The timing, the dun dun. It's like it has this stutter timing. Dun dun dun. So my guess is that we are now turning over our metaphoric vinyl here, right? If I had to guess, we've got 3 songs to go. So I'm thinking that we are probably flipping over this here vinyl. End of side 1. Got it. I'm going to run a quick ad, get that knocked out of the way. We'll see if we can knock out side 2 in a 1-sitter. Be right back. Okay, we got 3 songs to go. Let us check these out and close this thing down. I'm so impressed with the twists and turns that jazz has to offer. I was sitting here thinking about how, in rock, I've heard so many different subgenres. I've heard metal, I've heard classic rock, I've heard, folk rock, I've heard, pop rock, punk rock, dream pop. But I haven't had the same experience with jazz. I don't know all of the different subgenres. I don't know all of the different textures that there are available to me. And so, to me, it feels like kind of getting wowed at every corner. Maybe I'm like kind of, surprised at like day one stuff here, but it's a beautiful language that I feel like I'm hearing a lot, for the first time. Oh. Ooh. We're killing this. The timing, the space that's happening between the bass notes. We're back to the flying bass. The flying bassman. So these moments did these like making his sax squeal. But it's like he's going up and down with that phrase and using it in different contexts. drummer has just got such a nice swing, such a deep pocket. I think jazz is really brave to take those half steps because to a lot of genres, those half steps sound just so blue and dissonant. Trying to hear the changes in my head, but my brain is just too small to do it. The dark secret of jazz number 43. When you understand the tritone substitution, the half step becomes just a circle of fifths change. Sorry, while I'm chewing on that in my brain, my dog wants. Sorry, the basset wanted some water. It was time to get the basset hound some water. Let's bring it back a bit. Sorry. The piano here from Mr. Tommy Flanagan. It's kind of nice. The piano player will play chords, and then sometimes instead of playing a whole chord, just play one key. Tommy later becomes almost a permanent pianist for Ella. Okay. It's interesting because this has had so many twists and turns. It's had so many different big moments and kind of quiet moments. Tommy Fingers. I told you, the drum the pockets of the drummer, dude, they're deep. Dude, coffee artist, thank you for the 100 tickle bitties, dude. Nice little taster ending there. So we got 2 songs to go. It looks like Naima and Mr. PC. Guys, for those of you that are hitting this for the first time, let me know how it's hitting you, and for the revisitors of the group, how you doing? Wow, a slower, more deep vibe than I thought. This feels like kind of the sentimental song of the album. The songs on this album are recorded in 2 days, except Naima, which was randomly recorded in December. Okay. These triplet runs dun, 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 on the bass. The amount of space that they almost feel like they're leaving you with dead air time, but they just don't. They just let the K's kind of happen. They're so subtle with it. It's such an experience and delicacy. I think that there's just such a slow pulse to this that keeps you at the edge of your seat. And a little bit of a subtle tension that gets thrown at you with this bass. The drums have done a pretty great job and like of release moments with just the random ride splash like that. This feels like a standout of difference compared to the other songs we've heard on this record. It's very, yeah, this one, it's a much slower tempo in general, right? But this feels like the thinker of the album. This is definitely one of the more solid ways to close a stream down. This Naima song was, I mean, I think probably, I'd say my second favorite song I've heard tonight in general to kind of blue, or green is blue, or blue is green. Frig, why is my brain so stupid right now? Kind of late, I guess. Guys, we have one song to go. Mr. PC, does this album stick the landing? And when it comes to jazz, has this album been in the vein of jazz that you find yourself seeking out and listening to? Excuse me. What is your kind of preference? I'm still familiarizing myself with what all jazz has to offer. We're back to the speed. Does Mr. PC mean Mr. Paul Chambers? Is this a scenario where he's calling out how dope this bass is already? Makes sense. My mouth is sore from having my jaw dropped. This album forced me to be a mouth breather. How did John Coltrane pass? I'm not familiar, like with the life of the man or anything. So I'm kind of sitting here thinking about the fact that jazz musicians, in my experience, at least in my exploration up to this point, seem to have a huge respect for the people they play with, to the point that they name songs after them. In this case, clearly Paul Chambers has been a foundational pillar of this album. Clearly a man among boys when it comes to bass players. And it's cool to see him get a song named after him. In a similar way, Miles Davis would go on to name a song John McLaughlin. And I think that's really cool. I like seeing that jazzers pay homage to one another within their respective works. Tremendous. But I do think I would come to this album for a different reason than I would come to Kind of Blue. But I would come to both of them for sure. the bass is just doing his bass thing. If you follow where this bass is going in your head, it's just so cool. The stereo hard pans on this particular song, though, do leave a little bit to be desired. I wish they would have, instead of just going 100 100, go 90 90, 90 10 as far as the mix of left to right ear. So we have at least a little bit of microphone bleed or something, dude. But Mr. PC, ladies and gentlemen. This was just the version that they had available, friends. The bass and the piano are working here. The drum here and the snare work, whenever it pops in, is just so profound. Taylor, dude. This is my first taste, yes. I love that they're letting the drummer get his pearls. This one certainly felt like it had a touch of the blues to it, but I think it really just did a great job at exemplifying how tremendous the bass was. Mr. PC was great, but I think the song of this one for me was Naima. Not that it's a competition, but I did find that I typically enjoyed kind of the lax vibe and the emotional playing that we were getting out of um kind of Blue. But what I found in this one was that I really liked the swings. I liked the steps. I liked, feeling kind of like at the edge of my seat. I think the difference in which I would listen to them would be quite different experiences, but I want to continue to branch further out into kind of what both guys, were doing, not like specifically their work. Sure, potentially their work specifically, but what I mean when I say it more than those guys' specific work is that like I want to continue to delve into works like that. I guess is how I'm trying to word it. Guys, I only ever knew John Coltrane because of the lyrics been fueling up on Coltrane and whiskey on the song Picture by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow. But anyways, yeah, I feel like I took a giant step into the jazz today and I feel pretty good about it. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. Derelict Andrew, thank you for gifting a sub to Tim. If anybody deserves one, it was him. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Tim. Welcome back. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. We got a lot of jazz to come, by the way.